Lesson 57. Catherine, this might be the most useful word that our listeners will learn because you can use it to connect anything. It's the word kai, and it means and.
Yes, and this word is everywhere in ancient Greek. It is an extremely useful word.
And actually the word kai, the main primary meaning of the word is just and.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get more advanced and you read Greek texts, you'll find that the word kai can mean things beyond just and. It can have other meanings too, depending on how you use it. But in this book, we're just going to use it to mean and, just so you can get accustomed to using it in its most basic way.
And that's the way that is most common anyway.
So we have an example sentence here. In our example sentence, the sentence says, I am a teacher and a doctor. And so we're simply using the word kai as the word and. A me means I am. And so the sentence is saying that I am two things. I'm a teacher and I'm a doctor. So we throw in the word kai, and very simply, a me didaskalos kai iatros. I am a teacher and a doctor. So let's look at a few exercises here and practice working with kai. In number 1, we have philosophos, which means philosopher, kai, and iatros. So far, philosopher and doctor. Then at the end, we have a me. So someone is saying, I am, and there's no article in front of philosophos, and there's no article in front of iatros. So literally, the sentence would say, a philosopher and a doctor, I am. But if we rearrange it into a nice, smooth English word order, it would say, I am a philosopher and a doctor.
And then in number 2, we have a me ho didaskalos kai ho iatros. So here we have a me, I am, ho didaskalos, the teacher, kai ho iatros, and the doctor. So here we have the article in both cases with both nouns, didaskalos and iatros. And so I am the teacher and the doctor.
One more thing to notice here, Catherine, is that on the word a me, which is the first word of the sentence, ordinarily there would be an acute accent there.
Mm-hmm.
But here, since there is more Greek text after it, that acute accent, the accent that points upward, has been changed into a downward pointing accent, which is what we call a grave accent. And notice also that the final syllable of a word is the only syllable where you can have a grave accent.
Yes.
That's why it's on the final syllable of a me.
Yeah, that's important to remember.
So a few things to notice there about accents. In number 3, ho kadmos e me. We have the article with kadmos. That's a person's name, so we don't really need to translate it into anything. And then a me means I am. So we'll just translate number 3 as I am Cadmus. A quick word about accents here. We've been telling you that the word a me is an enclitic, and so for that reason, it wants to give away its accent to the previous word. But you'll notice here in number 3 that a me is hanging on to its accent. It's not giving it away to the previous word. And the reason for that is the placement of the accent in the previous word. The previous word, kadmos, only has 2 syllables, and the accent is on the first syllable, so it's pronounced kadmos, and so together, kadmos and a me form a single syllable counting unit. So if the word a me were to give away its accent, and the accent moved to the last syllable of kadmos, then we would have 2 acute accents right next to each other on adjacent syllables. And so according to the rules of Greek accents, you can't do that. You can't have 2 acute accents right there next to each other. Now, there is a situation in which you could have 2 accents on the same word right next to each other. If the accent in kadmos were a circumflex, then that would change the situation, And then there would be the possibility for adding another accent. But here, that's not the case. Here we have an acute accent over the alpha in kadmos. And so, to make a long story short, according to the rules of Greek accents, we can't park another accent on the mos syllable there. So, emi keeps its accent, and in this particular case, it does not give away its accent to the previous word, despite the fact that it is an enclitic. In number 4, telemachos and emi form one syllable counting unit because emi is an enclitic. And so emi has given away its accent to the word telemachos. It already had an accent over the epsilon, so that accent stays put, plus you get another accent on the syllable chos, because in this syllable counting unit, that's 3 from the end. So really the word telemachos ends up having 2 accents, and it sounds something like telemachosemi, and it means I am Telemachus. Moving along to number 8, you'll see that emi doesn't have anything before it. There's no word for emi to give away its accent to, so it's keeping its accent, and so it means I am Cadmus, emi Cadmos. But then in number 9, emi comes after another word, so it does have a word to give away its accent to. Mm-hmm. And so it gives away its accent to iatros. Iatros already had an accent there, so that syllable just keeps its accent in that same spot. And it sounds like iatrosemi.